Guys, today I'm gonna narrate my second story, which you will love. Blue sea, blue sky. This forms an illusion of uniformity. From the shades of blue, there a giant ship was picked out. At the corner of the ship, a tall and confident man was standing holding the iron age, enjoying slow music, looking at the waves rise and fall. Suddenly, someone shouted at the background. To hear the sound properly, the young man tapped the off button on the speaker. He turned back and heard a sound. Get to the lifeboat! Sensing something dangerous, he ran inside the ship and found everyone was running to the exit. What the hell you gonna do inside? Save your life, man! Shouted the manager. What the freak is happening? Asked the young aspirant, awaiting for the answer like a hungry dog. The manager screamed with continuous sighs. Oh man, the engine had stopped working. The water was filling in the ship. We're gonna be under the water in a couple of minutes. Get your lifeboat. In a flash, everyone except the young man gathered around the lifeboats. A violent fight started between them for some limited lifeboats, forgetting all humanities. Tears said in the eyes of the young man, remembering this particular scene in the movie Titanic. Instantly, he got out of his world and heard a buzzing sound. It was actually the oxygen gas releasing from the oxygen cylinder, and then everything got lost in the flame. Everyone had turned into ash. Actually, the oxygen gas has reacted with the ignited cigarettes which a man was smoking. The young man got heavily traumatized. He was the only one left in the ship. He became heartbroken. He now wanted to die in this boat. Suddenly, he realized that the life has given him one chance for surviving. He shouldn't spoil it. He started searching desperately for a lifeboat. Luckily, he got one at the corner of the ship. He took that one and jumped into the water. After going a mile, he realized that the lifeboat was damaged. At that time, a big fish as size as of a hen jumped out of the water and struck his head. He felt unconscious. He woke up slowly. With his blurred eyes, he saw something like a snake. Being frightened and shaken, he cleaned his eyes with his hand and found out that it was just a rope. As soon as a sense of relief felt within him, an eagerness arose to find out where the rope came. With aspiration, he looked upwards, and surprisingly, he found himself along with a ship, and the rope was tied to the ship. In the hopelessness of getting back to his home, he climbed the rope and landed on the ship. At that time, it has been night. Surprisingly, he found no one there. He thought the reason behind it as it was night so everyone would have taken their bed. It's getting too dark, so he decided to enter the ship and spend a night there. And then at the morning, he will meet to the manager of the ship. At the floor, he slept whole night. In the morning, once he woke up, he searched for any people in the ship. First searching around the first floor, he found no one. His heartbeats started increasing. He continued his search. After searching every single room, he found no one there. Some paranormal feelings developed inside him. Finally, gathering all the last of his courage, he put his foot down into the pilot's chamber where the ship is controlled. He found no one there. He lost all his hopes and became unconscious. That day, at the evening, he became conscious. That time, the horror feelings has mostly faded away from his memory. He was very hungry. He eagerly started searching for some foodstuffs. He went to the ship kitchen. There he got some breads and cakes and many raw materials. He devoured them all. Then investigated the ship more detailedly. He found a watch it and it was going to be 11 p.m. All the lights got turned off of no reason. He got scared. He settled to a place in the ship, trying to avoid those paranormal feelings, but he couldn't and started severing. His eyes opened and it was totally bright. He washed his face with the water, then he came outside. There he saw a very wonderful scene. A group of dolphins jumping out of the water, covering the sun rays, and supported by a group of very rare birds, namely hawfinch. There were thousands in numbers. It was a place where two differences, one is pure blue color and another is of salty white water, meet together. The dolphins were passing from one sea to another. That time, a dolphin just fly by the side of the young man, pouring some water on him. The man hadn't seen this type of wonderful thing in his whole life. Suddenly, when the man was enjoying the wonderful sight, the ship suddenly turned and took a U turn. He got shocked for what's happening. Again, he started feeling spooky, but soon recovered from it and he roamed outside the ship for the whole day. And when it was dark, he went to the kitchen for some food and shockingly found that some of the foods are half eaten, the packets are torn. But gathering some courage, he took some foods and some candy like things. Getting out of the kitchen, the lights got turned off and the time was 11 p.m. Now he couldn't eat in the dark, so he went outside the ship. At that instant of time, a voice spoke out, "Get yourself inside the ship!" He got frightened and tried to trace the source of this noise, but failed. He got into the ship and tried to eat in the dark. After eating, he wanted to eat those candy like things which he had found in the kitchen. He put 5 or 6 candies in his mouth. Actually, those were not candies but sleeping pills. He woke up and found himself surrounded by a doctor and an old man wearing a black coat. The young man asked, "How long had I been slept?" Realizing that he had slept for a very long time. "And who are you?" he added. The old man answered, "Oh, just for 3 4 days, and I'm the owner of the ship which you were in." "And how did you get into that? And what you were doing there?" The young man narrated all his story to him. Suddenly he jerked forward and asked, "Was someone in your ship when I was in?" Owner, "No, no at all. You were the only soul there." Young man, "Then who's on the earth was controlling it?" Honor laughs. "Wait, man, don't be frightened. Let me explain you the whole story." Young man, "What?" Honor, "The ship was in autopilot mode, so it was moving by itself." Young man, somewhat relieved. "But why there was no one?" Honor, "Actually, because of some technical glitches, the ship has started automatically and no one in. And before we could catch it, it has traveled a mile." Young man, "But what about the food?" Honor, "Oh man, come on. It's a 6 day trip. We have to serve something to the customers, right?" Young man, "Oh wait. Then when the lights got turned off and only at 11 p.m. Honor, "Oh, that's quite interesting. Actually, our whole route is very dangerous, especially during the night. So for avoiding people to roam in the outside, we have programmed the ship to close all lights at 11 p.m. and to be turned again on at 6 a.m. in the morning." Young man, "Oh, it just sucks. But what about the half-eaten foods and torn packets?" Honor, "Oh, that even we come to know about the rates in our ship. They are the only reason for your question." Young man, "What was the hell announcement? after that lights of tragedy. Honor. Oh, as like you, I have already told you to make sure people about the lights out. We had taken this precaution. Young man. Oh yeah, I'm getting it. It's not as tragic as I was thinking. And at somewhere in the sea, I had seen a great and a beautiful scene of dolphins jumping an uncountable number of half inches flying. It was just speechless. But the most surprising thing was there is the ship took a U-turn and I reached here. What was that? Oh man, you're so lucky. You got to see that wonderful sight for free. Young man, wait, what free? Yeah, the ship you were in was for the trip from this spot to that place. Then the program was to return back to this place. That's why the ship turned back. And when you were in, that was a great spot for tourism and for earning profits, wasn't it, young man? Yeah, of course it was. Laughing. And now, still are you feeling spooky? You had a great adventure, man. Young man, totally relieved. Yeah, it was a great journey. I ain't gonna forget in my whole lifetime. Then the young man got out of the hospital, got a taxi for the airport. From the back window, he was staring at the ship and laughing.